Welcome everyone. Today's training is on ensuring privacy for HCBS participants. And we can get started. Okay, so well, first off, we'll just kind of talk about the CMS language that is there. Letter of the rule that we're going to talk about today is the home community-based settings must have all of the following qualities and such other qualities as the Secretary determines to be appropriate based on the needs of the individual as indicated in their person-centered service plan. All right. So well, this specifically discusses where it ensures an individual's rights of privacy. That's the part we're going to talk about today. Dignity and respect, and freedom from coercion and restraint, listed in this federal regulation, which is the final rule. In a provider-owned or controlled residential setting, in addition to the qualities at that federal regulation, the following additional conditions must be met. Everyone has privacy in their sleeping or living unit. If you remember, that was one of the questions on the assessment. And units have entrance doors lockable by the individuals with only appropriate staff having keys to doors. Right? And for reference, that's the regulation specific location that's located. So just to remember, in order to be compliant with the final rule, your agency needs to provide full privacy to persons served within the bounds of their person-centered service plan. Okay. Any modifications or restrictions to privacy must be documented in an individual's person-centered service plan and not restrict the privacy of other persons served who do not have the restrictions or modifications in their PCSP. And with that, we're going to talk in a little bit too, just making sure that we're focusing on what your agency puts out there. And then, like this says, any restrictions or modifications will be addressed in the PCSP. All right. So the relationship between the PCSP and the final rule compliance. So the final rule is meant to describe how a provider manages a site. In compliance, status indicates a site offers privacy to persons served at a comparable level to those not receiving services. PCSPs are documents specific to each individual, reflecting the need of the individual. A PCSP may modify the individual's level of privacy, but not invalidate agency policy, especially for others at the site. Okay. If there are any restrictions due to a specific assessed need that would limit or invalidate final rule compliance, they should be reflected in a PCSP and not directly modify the overall policy of the site. So again, your policy, your site should ensure that all individuals have the right to privacy, and any modification to that would be addressed in the PCSP and not the policy. All right. So here are some of the questions that related to privacy. As you can see, a majority of them come from the F section, which was on the residential assessment. There are a couple questions, I believe 2, that come from the non-residential assessment. So the first one is, can persons served at this site lock the bathroom door for privacy? Just making sure that they have the ability to ensure privacy. Living spaces at site arranged in a way that ensures privacy. Facility at the site arranged in a way to ensure privacy. So again, there's one for residential and one for non-residential there. And then does the facility offer privacy to persons while using telephone, internet, or any other personal communications. Okay, so basically all of these questions relate to all those privacies that we normally expect in our own life. All right, so privacy during personal care. Under the HCBS settings final rule, providers are required to offer participants privacy during personal care. That should be shown in the way that individuals have the option to lock the door while using the bathroom. Setting spaces are arranged to provide privacy during personal care. So if you need to help someone with personal care, like in their own bedroom or something, then you should be able to secure a bedroom door or option to lock the bedroom door. Or if you have to have another space where it's large enough where you have to help someone with the personal care, you just need to make sure that you can secure that setting and provide that privacy. Privacy when using technology. This comes into place for a lot of different reasons. So under the HCBS settings final rule, providers are required to offer participants privacy when using technology. Technology such as telephone, internet, other personal communication devices, which could include offering them privacy when they're wanting to write a letter and things like that. So everything that could deal with communication or technology is there, all the way from writing letters up to things we haven't even discovered yet. Okay, so privacy in a residence. Under the HCBS settings final rule, providers are required to offer participants privacy in residential settings. Lockable entrance doors with only appropriate staff having keys. So who gets to determine who are appropriate staff? We'll discuss that a little bit, but for the most part, it should be those that have a need to be there and are invited by the person served. So lockable bedroom doors to allow for privacy for the individual, and staff should knock and receive permission before entering. Privacy in a bedroom and choice of a roommate so that they know that they have that privacy. Privacy to secure personal belongings. No matter what the type of setting, an individual needs to be able to secure their belongings. So under the HCBS settings final rule, providers are required to offer participants space to secure personal belongings. Some examples could be a locker, closets, other space in the residential setting or in the non-residential setting even. And these are just examples, and there could be multiple other ways of providing this. So how do we show compliance? Well, as we've been finding is that policies are our preferred method to be able to show CMS that a provider is compliant. And we do that because policy should state clearly how persons served have the option to privacy during personal care when using technology in the residence and to secure personal belongings. So when we talk about in the residence, individuals should have privacy when they want to be by themselves even. So in their own residence, they should be able to feel at home. Handbooks and other documents work well. They should relate back to a policy or procedure. And they should inform persons served, guardians, staff and volunteers that persons served have privacy when they receive services at a setting. Pictures. Pictures work really well as supporting documentation to a policy where you've said these individuals have the ability or option to lock a door or have the right to lock the door to their bedroom, and here's a picture of the bedroom door. So with that, pictures support strong policies, handbooks, or other documents. Very rarely do pictures on their own support any privacy as evidence. All right, so putting it together, ensuring privacy compliance information is accessible to all via policy, handbook, brochure, etc. So everyone should know and be able to understand that they have the right to privacy, and that staff understand and know how to help support that individual in their privacy. So a policy should include, at a minimum, the date, and that's the date that the policy was enacted, revised, changes made to it, agency branding, so you know who the policy belongs to. Page numbers are usually really good indicators to let us know that we're looking at the entire policy and not missing a page or two. It's also good if you choose to put in there the name of the particular policy so they understand which policy we're looking at. Or you can have a policy number if that works for you, something along that lines. So when the desk review team looks at your evidence, this is what we want you to turn in. So when you turn in your evidence or submit your evidence, make sure to submit the entire policy covering a specific topic to answer the self-assessment question. So make sure that you read the question and then read your evidence that you're submitting and make sure you match that up and give us the whole policy document so we know that it's a full policy.